Hello, very good morning to you and welcome to Table Talk on Benway Television. We are here once again to do justice to a very important topic that is presented before us. Today we'll be talking about the statewide broadcast of His Excellency the Executive Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Umem Alia, who is the number one citizen of Benue. And we are carrying out an assessment of what that statewide broadcast says and what the Benue people should expect from the governor at this trying moment. You are all aware of the fact that there is a lot of problems in the Sankara axis of Benue State, particularly Ukum local government area, where you have heard a lot. All of these will be unveiled in the course of the program. Benue is a state that is meant to be peaceful and progressive. And until we imbibe that spirit of development, peace, and unity, we will always be backward. For now, we're going to do justice to this. And we have a good governance advocate who is always ready to bear his mind on issues pertaining to the state development. I'm talking about distinguished Sam Agua, who is here in the house to join hands as we do justice with this very important topic. My name is Japhet Kwahom. I have the privilege to welcome you once again, distinguished Sam Agua.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much. My pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you.
Yeah.
I know that anytime we are seated here, the Benue people are expecting analysis that are anchored on nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
And so that is what we owe the people even this morning. You have watched the statewide broadcast of His Excellency, which was done yesterday, and he spoke passionately, especially as concerns the issue of security and other sundry issues. But security is actually the first thing to be discussed by any broadcast station because it is like icing to the cake. Let's talk about, can we have your overview of the statewide broadcast made by His Excellency yesterday? What do you have to say about that?
Well, the broadcast is a mix. While on one hand we are seeing a crying governor, a governor mourning, on one hand we are seeing a governor reading a riot act, saying enough is enough. That's why I say it's a mix, because he has traced some bit of history to the crisis, the killings, what led to a protest, what led to people, some hoodlums or some miscreants, he used the word miscreants, taking advantage of the crisis, and then all the arson, all the acts of terrorism that went on, destruction of public property. So it's a mix. I think something here is very key.
Yeah. And what?
What is key is the governor has clearly indicated that there is community complicity in this crisis. That's not minced words. He has said members of the community are involved. He has said because members of this community who are miscreants, who are terrorists, are involved and have been engaged by government, most of them have fled. They're hiding in forests, they're hiding in other places, and they have taken advantage to come out. Implication is that banditry or terrorism or these miscreant acts still thriving in these communities. Now, what has the governor said? I won't give an olive branch again. Listen, when a chief executive or a chief security officer is talking like that, there are issues to it. You know, it looks easy for us on the streets to say, hey, look, Mr. Governor, security moving, clear everywhere. But you know, there will be lots of collateral damage because most of these bandits hold on to people they have kidnapped. Most of these bandits are very critical and have informants in the community and that. So I think fairly the governor's broadcast was very clear. He has indicated that I'm not going to let this go. But I think what is very key from this point of view of we the citizens or analysts is the fact that there needs to be a thorough combing of Ukum local government. What do I mean by combing? The way you comb your hair. It has to be thorough. And unfortunately, because if you look at the pain, because a lot of people don't even have a clue, don't know jack to what is going on, but they were caught up in this crisis. So to what extent do we keep on sustaining or keep or allowing these things to thrive. Because remember, these things have a history. Though not related to your question or the speech, I want to take this point, this opportunity quickly to advise communities.
All right.
You know, miscreancy, if I thought there's a word like that, it grows.
You're fond of creating words, so go ahead. Yes.
Criminality grows.
Yes.
It starts small, but it grows. I want communities to take note that those little young people, young chaps, that are village meetings, take control of village meetings, even shout at the traditional ruler, shout at the elders, feel they are macho, they can do anything, they got the muzzle, they got the wherewithal. That is where this thing starts. We must nip these things in the bud. We don't need to wait. Because if you look at the history of Sankara or the Okum we are talking about, you can go back to 15 years. You can even go back to as much as 20 years when traces of these things started. And today we hear of these militia arrangements, people coming, taking advantage of that. So I think the governor's broadcast is very clear. In summary again, he has read the Riot Act. He has told everyone that, hey, look, enough is enough. I can't take this again. Number two, he has assured the people that he will be with them. He will ensure that there is lots of security on the ground. But thirdly, and most importantly, he has set up a commission of inquiry. I'm appealing to the members of the community. I'm appealing to Benue people. Let's cooperate with the commission of inquiry. You know, the commission of inquiry will help us unravel even those issues we didn't know before now, because this helps in trying to bring about a solution. That is the core aggregate of the state. We cannot afford to have this crisis. I understand that the day these protests were going on, these destructions were going on, there was even no passage on the highway. You know, the Ukum local government links to Taraba, the vehicles everywhere. So you can imagine the impact on commercial activities. We're not even talking about people that fear, but have made them to begin to leave their places or leave their properties and that. So I think the governor spoke well, and I'm appealing to the governor to take more decisive actions. In fact, the decisive actions I want the governor to take even more is to ensure that everybody should answer his father's name. Whoever you are, you must answer your father's name. Okay. There's nothing like a particular person, Samagwa, is involved, or you, Japhet, is involved, and we try to just cover things up. Let everything be bare. Enough is enough. Enough is enough, as said by the executive governor of Benue State and complemented by distinguished Sam Agua. But there is a bigger question here in the picture, distinguished Sam. The culprit must be identified. For security to be nipped in the bud, insecurity, we have to, first of all, it's not just about a commission of inquiry. Will the commission be bold enough to identify the culprits at the end of the day? You are asking me whether the commission will be bold enough. Yes. I want to tell you the commission is intended to be bold enough. But prior to that, because you know the commission is going to engage with an array of stakeholders. Yes. Even the security will be involved. Yesterday, the commissioner of police issued a statement saying 18 persons have already been apprehended that are suspects into the crisis. Maybe the numbers could keep increasing and that. You know, let me tell you something. It's beyond the person that took that matches or bought that liter of fuel and pour on a property of an individual citizen or a public property to get burned. It's beyond that. They are not necessarily the only layer of looking at perpetrators of an act. There could also be people behind this act, because if you look at the systematic manner this followed, people would just go in numbers, burn the property, move to this, move to this, move to this. It begins to tell you that there is some bit of orchestration. It's not a mere I just get up now and I slap you or you slap me. Something has been cooking. But again, it also relates to the fact that at some point, naturally, people got tired that government is not doing enough. Let's have to make that clear. So the frustration of the people mixed with already existing tensions and factions and miscreancy and all which we can't identify in their various doses correctly. We don't know what made up 30% or 40% or that. But the problem is that a peaceful protest turned into what we are seeing today, with destructions, hundreds of millions worth of individual and public property gone. I believe the Commission of Inquiry will do a good job. They are not there to massage anybody. They are there based on the facts presented. So it's an opportunity again that we may have to hear let people, everybody should, I say everybody should come and answer his father's name.
Yes, and this brings us to the next question. Do you think that the state government is not readily aware of what's happening in Ukum, in Sankara, and the state government is actually blind about the people responsible for this heinous act?
No. In the last close to 20 years,
yes,
the state government has been aware.
Good.
We've been having issues, we've been having crises, what later even metamorphosed into the popular Ghana emergence.
Late Ghana, yes.
Late Ghana. There's been a lot going on. And at various levels, every administration tries to step in to try to resolve a problem.
And the question,
no,
hold on.
Okay.
That's not a question. I asked in very simple terms. Do you think the state government has been unaware of the issues in that axis all this while?
No.
And the state government doesn't know people who are behind us?
No. Let me answer you yes and no. There is no way the state government will not have intelligence. What is the essence of government? The essence of government is these issues of security. I want to believe on a day-to-day basis the governor has information. Now, you are dealing with a group of people that operate in a hit-and-run fashion. Some are known, some are on the trail. We've been hearing that a lot of people, the police is looking for XYZ, they are yet to be found and all that.
Yeah.
The state government fully, absolutely is aware.
Good.
And the point here is the way immediately or abruptly
Yes.
a protest triggered into a burning of properties. Of course, naturally, part of the issues, that is why government will always say, if you want to do a protest, take permission, so that we are able to check in and when somebody infiltrates and that. But no, this was spontaneous. People were killed. You can't really expect, in all fairness, that due process needs to be observed. A community will go and write a DPO to say, DPO, we want to do this. It was a normal protest as mentioned by the government. So the government is fully aware. Something has happened that is untoward, very unfortunate, and I understand actions are further being taken. Why will the government not be aware?
And now it begs for this answer and question at the same time.
Yeah.
Why do we as the Benue people have to leave so much to be done by His Excellency, the Governor of Benue State? Because I'm not the governor's spokesman, neither am I his appointee. But the question that comes to my mind every day is this. Infrastructurally, we have left everything deficit. Huge deficit for the governor. It looks as though the governor is beginning a new state. What has happened to the previous administrations in stemming this issue of insecurity in Sankara? This has lingered for more than a decade now.
It's like a
so is it political will? Is it leadership, or what has been the problem?
You can bring many things, even up to 1,000 things. Political will, leadership, and stock all that. There's a key issue here. As a student, you get into the university. If you are not performing well, you are moving to the next level with what they call carryovers. You could actually carry over up to your last year in the university. Certain courses you have not passed. Now, this is the issue. When we say government is continuity, inability of A to stop a thing will translate to a B, and the expectation will be for B to stop it. If the B is unable to stop it or control it or bring some remedy, it will move to C. It keeps moving.
Do you think past administrations made any significant efforts?
Of course, there's no administration that has come that has just allowed the people to be in that situation. Because if you remember, each of the past administration have been, you see their engagement with security trying to resolve a matter and that. Listen, when there is community complication, Now, let me even add another thing: community complicity. Also, there's community complication and community complicity. Community complication here is that there are entrenched interests, whether on clannish or political or family lines, that are involved in these processes. So over time, this grew. What started so small, it's like you give birth to a little baby that is just some few kg.
Yes.
Then someday you see that it's a man with weighing 100 kg or even 200 kg. So the issue is the community crisis management or peace resolution mechanisms, habit from day one, have not addressed this sufficiently. It doesn't mean the community might have been docile.
It's all right.
But the crux of it is that this has moved.
But do you think His Excellency has taken the right steps now? Because a lot, from what you have said, a lot of efforts were made in the past.
Yeah.
Yet in futility.
No, I wouldn't say in futility. Because I don't want to use that expression.
But the issues weren't.
No. I wouldn't want to use that expression.
Okay.
Listen, criminality. There's nothing like you. Criminality grows.
Okay.
It grows. It gets reduced. It gets modified. It's a trend. So it could be that, yes, past administrations were overwhelmed at some point, could not resolve. Like I told you, the example of a carryover student moving up to his final year. And that. So these things keep moving on and moving on and moving on. The point is that I think if I got the governor right, the Riot Act he's reading entails that I am getting up now to be decisive. I'm going to be ruthless. There may be, I'm not saying he said this, it's my interpretation.
Oh, yes.
There may be some bit of losses that would come in me trying to address this, because the way this is entrenched, you cannot resolve it without a component of what is even innocent getting affected. Because often most governors or most leaders or security officers are conscious of the fact that if we take certain actions, we may end up creating XYZ problem even for the people that are not part of this crisis. So I am believing that, because actually this is the first time a commission of inquiry is being set up. So far it has been security intervention. You know the beauty of the commission of inquiry, Japhet? It will even expose the good the security has been doing and the bad the security has been doing. People are coming to talk. A lot of confessions will be made. So we will get to appreciate issues much better. In terms of resolving the issue, why I wish Governor Alia solves the problem. It's not in my position to guarantee he's setting a commission of inquiry, he's pumping more security people there, and my suggestion that there should be a thorough combing of Sankara may address this. But we hope this addresses, because the only people ultimately, Japhet, that will address insecurity, now the very people will get the land. Now them go
the land.
Security.
What you're saying is that the landlords must
the gatekeepers, the ordinary citizens, and that. But you know, you have a funny situation in that axis. Let me touch on it quickly.
All right.
And this is a funny situation.
Yes.
If it is known or rumored that a reported Japhet, I mean soup. So over the years, people know who is doing what and what. They lack the capacity to get up and say this is the person, because of what I term community complication in the matter and community complicity. This community does not mean 90% of the population. It's just this small segment that have created an enterprise out of this thing and are causing problem and are enjoying the spill of blood and the fact that people are in some tension.
All right, now I'm going to ask you a direct question at this time, because we've had this discussion to a level where we have to let the balloon blow up. We have the youth class in Sankara. I'm talking about the youthful people. We have the elders, the statesmen. We have politicians, all in Sankara, particularly Okum that we're discussing today. Who do you think is responsible for the security woes in that area?
It's a tough question. You say you're asking a direct question.
Yes.
I really wouldn't know. Remember, I established the fact that this thing is in doses.
Yes.
You go to hospital, they give you 5 different medicines
Yes.
and whatever.
But you sound like you have great knowledge of what's happening there.
No, I think from benefit of
So
being
apply
on
the
ground.
knowledge to this question.
Now, all have sinned. That is my answer. All have sinned and come short of the glory of Sankara.
That is biblical.
No, yeah, and I have
Yeah.
to use it in this context.
Yeah.
Because the manner this crisis has thrived and has sustained itself, we cannot say there are no sponsors or there are no landlords or the big gangs or the cartels behind it. That is one. Number two, for us to dismiss that, members of the community, including young people who should be in school, are the ones involved in this crisis, and sometimes will pick a telephone and threaten somebody or go and kidnap somebody or kill somebody. It certainly means that either to some extent, either the children have decided to be prodigal or the parents have decided to let me allow my children, there's nothing I can do. Remember, we are having a problem that has a history of 15 years plus, that has grown to this point. We never envisaged it will come to this.
Yeah.
But even the community chiefs, for this not to be settling, it means they don't have a grip. They
Yeah.
don't have a hold, or they are scared. So when I say all have sinned,
No,
but you want me to?
You are sharing the blame now. You are distributing the blame.
The blame must be.
I told you it was.
I'm not even also giving government blame.
No,
everybody is to be blamed in this
No,
situation.
but I told you it was a direct question which demanded a direct.
A direct answer.
Yes, of course. I'm not saying.
I give it. I give it to who?
Hold on. I'm not.
Where
saying,
all are involved?
No, I'm not asking you to name names or to call names in this.
No, you code groups.
Yes, groups.
Who-
Now,
if
let me call the groups again.
you go on?
Maybe you didn't get it.
I
Very
got
well.
you.
Okay.
Call it again.
We
but I got
have
you.
the youths.
Yes.
In that community.
Yes.
We have the women in that
Agile
community.
youths.
Yes,
Agile
youths.
youths.
Yes.
Yes.
We also have elder statesmen in that.
Yes. There are very many.
We are very many.
Yeah.
And then we have politicians.
Yes. I would like to have said
Now-
politicians come elder statesmen.
Good.
You know, they are in a
Now,
same
the
category.
question is,
Yeah.
who do you think is responsible for the security issues that have lingered in Sankara?
Traditionally, academically speaking, we would say it is the government, because government has not been able to stop it, which is a textbook answer. Because we'll go to constitution and begin to talk the grammar of it is the duty of the government to protect blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when you are picking that man's phone on the street, you can't expect the government to be everywhere to stop that phone from being stolen.
Yeah.
So the textbook, that side. Now let's leave the textbook to reality. Reality is that Jaffe, the stakeholders who are made up of all these groups are responsible. But if you necessarily want me to be punchy, I would blame it more on the traditional institutions and the politicians, because they have a word, they have power, they have strength, they have influence to be able to come together and galvanize. But remember, maybe because it was not done timely, or there were lots of divisions, it has grown to a level that maybe even the politicians or elder statesmen are finding it difficult to network again, to have some bit of collaboration to discuss this matter. So if you want necessarily for me to prioritize from my assessment on the street, remember this is not from, in fact, there's even another component. Either the intelligence system is failing, or the government is not using the intelligence system. You know, it's a complex thing. This your direct thing doesn't hold here. I think all have sinned and come short of the glory of
Distinguished Sam Agua.
Let's leave it.
Well, I know. I actually knew that you were going to dodge.
I didn't dodge it.
I
didn't dodge it.
Give
Three
us-
people are involved in the crisis, so you want me to list in which order?
It's all right. That's fine then. Let's come down to the traditional rulers have always said they have been arm twisted. They can't say anything.
Nobody twisted them. They are the people that fought and wanted to be traditional rulers. Some of them influenced. No, hold on. You are bringing something here. Let's stop
all right.
this issue of being arm twisted.
Yes.
Most traditional rulers, from my limited knowledge, I'm not premising on it. I'm premising as a Benue person, a local person that moves in villages. Most of them push their way to become traditional rulers. Even when it was zoned to their places, they fought to outsmart others. Now something is going on that is becoming pretty difficult for them to manage. So the natural thing is to claim untwisted. How? Why can't you just say, I have not been able to bring peace in my community, and as such, I want to surrender these beads. Those things they hang are called what, beads? Or what?
They are beads, yeah.
Those royal, I'm submitting my royal uniform.
Yes.
I'm saying no. I have been unable to deliver on this. You fought to be a traditional ruler to bring peace also. But now it's quick for them to go blame government, blame security, blame everybody. Security is also blaming community leader, feeling that community leader is complicit, community leader is involved. So you see that mix makes it difficult for us to give very straight answers.
It's all right. Let's take a moment and watch the video, what's happening there, so that the people can also be a part of what we're talking about. Let's have that video so that you can feel the actuality of what's taking place in Ukum local government area, of Sankara Access.
Benue State, I address you today with a very heavy heart, deeply saddened by the recent events in Ukum local government area. The unprovoked and senseless killing of 6 innocent lives by bandits on Tuesday night has left us all in mourning. Thoughts and prayers are with the families of the victims during this difficult time. Since the advent of our administration, several efforts have been put in place to eliminate the activities of bandits. Consequently, the combined efforts of our security agencies pushed back some bandits from their hideout and subsequently neutralized 2 bandits, recovered 7 motorcycles, 2 English pistols, a Toyota Camry, a commercial tricycle, and lots of charms. As a reprisal, some bandits hit some soft targets and killed the earlier aforementioned 6 civilians at Ayati, believing that the members of the Ayati community were responsible for giving information of their operations and locations and hideouts. And this led to an initial protest of anger and frustration of members and family members and women regarding the killings of their loved ones on the Ayati side road down to Sankara. Understandably, regrettably, these peaceful protests were hijacked by bandits and miscreants who had carefully planned to undertake and unleash mayhem on businesses and peace-loving people of Sankara. I assure you that I have listened. The mayhem caused by these heinous acts of violence has not gone unnoticed, and I stand with you in condemning these atrocities. Full military intervention was ordered. My heart goes out to the 3 soldiers and 2 police officers who were wounded in line of duty protecting lives and properties of citizens in Sankara. They have all been treated and discharged. I had earlier in the day directed the Deputy Governor, who had visited and carried out an on-the-spot assessment of the scenes of these devastating destructions. However, let me make it clear that while we empathize with the pain and frustration felt, we must channel our energies towards constructive actions. Destruction of public property and chaos only serve to compound our challenges and divert resources that could be better used to address the root causes of these issues. Our administration is unwavering in its commitment to ensuring the safety and security of all residents in Benue State. We are intensifying our efforts in collaborating with the security agencies to bring the perpetrators of these violent and criminal acts to justice. Already, we have started getting positive results. We are also working on preventive measures to ensure such incidents do not reoccur now or in the future. Development remains at the forefront of our agenda. Despite the challenges we face, we are committed to attracting and bringing forth development to all parts of Benue State. We understand that peace and security are the bedrock of development, and we will leave no stone unturned in our pursuit of a safe and prosperous Benue State. To our dedicated workers, your welfare remains a top priority of our administration. We recognize the sacrifices you make daily, and we are committed to ensuring that your rights and well-being are protected. We will continue to implement policies that support your growth, development, and overall welfare. I appeal to the good people of Sankara and its environs to remain calm and exercise restraint. Let us work together to rebuild our communities and restore peace. Your government is here for you, and we are committed to addressing your concerns with urgency and diligence. Let me, for the last time, extend a hand of fellowship to all our youth who have chosen to reside in the forests and continually launch attacks on innocent citizens, that our administration may no longer guarantee the olive branch extended to them. Let us not allow the actions of a few to destabilize us. We will not sit back and allow anyone or a group to frustrate the peace of the state and destabilize the government of Benue State. To this end, our government will, in the next few days, set up a commission of inquiry to investigate the remote and immediate causes of this mayhem. Additionally, more actions will be taken to demonstrate our unwavering commitment to bringing these progressive activities to a total end. Thank you. May God bless Benue State, and may all our efforts remain as a common effort to bringing peace back to Benue State, our dear state. God bless all of you.
Welcome back, and you've just watched His Excellency the Executive Governor of Benue State, speaking to the Benue people, addressing them on the recent insecurity issues that sprung up in Ukum local government, the Sankra axis of the state. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll do some more analysis on what His Excellency has said. Welcome back to the program. This is Table Talk on Benue Television, a place where we shake the table, but we never break the table. Today we are analyzing, carrying out an assessment of the statewide broadcast of His Excellency Governor Hyacinthe Umeh-Marlia, as it was anchored on insecurity. Now, distinguished Sam, you have also watched for yourself what His Excellency had to say to the Benue people. Over to you.
Well, I was trying to make some notes on my handset.
Okay.
I noticed there is a calm voice, yet as a smart man I know there is also some hardness in the calmness. The governor seems to feel touched, has wrote condolence to the people, is assuring the people, but again in a calm voice saying he wishes this doesn't happen again. I think it's quite key and critical that lives, human lives, should be valued. The lives of our security agencies should be valued, because sometimes we say, oh, we don't have security here and the police here, but then when we have them, we are killing them. Now there's something the governor says that is instructive and key. Let's not allow the actions of a few discourage us, because what is happening there, it is not the Ukum people or the Sankra people that are doing this. They are simply overwhelmed or overpowered, or have decided to be overpowered, whichever way you want to put it. By this small group. Now, for me, the key pull-out, not to waste your time, is the commission of inquiry that will be set up. I want the governor to set a commission of inquiry that recognizes real people of the state that can add value to the commission. You see, sometimes people think commission of inquiry is about lawyers. It's about people coming to argue stuff. Commission of inquiry is about intelligence gathering. It's about bringing out as much information as possible that can help the same government in doing A, B, C, D, E. Commission of inquiry also helps to even identify these very miscreants. So the condition should be made acceptable, conducive in a way that people can divulge and give information and provide photo evidence, video evidences and stuff. So I want him to set a crack committee. The committee shall have if I have my way, should have nobody even from the Sankara on its team.
But if it doesn't have anybody from the Sankara, how are they going to?
Are they not going to send memos?
How are they going to get the intelligence?
No, wait now, calm down. If a commission of inquiry is sitting, there will be a town hall. People will be told what to do. Some cannot write, but they will be told where and where to give information. I'm only trying to give.
Or you're suggesting that there should be some ghost members.
No,
who will not be identified by the public.
You even took a very slim path.
Okay.
I'm only giving impression that let this be a crack commission that nobody turns around to say because I'm from this area.
Okay.
It is these people in this area that say this person did this.
Very well.
But for information, it is the same people that will give you information. Right at the polling unit levels in the local government, there will be structures. There could be certain arrangements where people can come and testify, maybe undercover or openly. Also, because the whole idea is let every piece of information, even if it's a garbage, let it come in, so that we sift the garbage and know what is next to do. Ideally, yes, if a governor wants, he may not need to set up a committee. He could just rely with the security, rely on the security agencies and move on, get at miscreants. Because the issue is not to even get at miscreants, send them to prison or have them punished in various ways. The idea is to see to it that we stamp this thing to its very roots. And there's also something, though not captured in the governor's speech. I think maybe the governor was too moody or felt so touched. He didn't touch on that. Maybe at a later time. But there is need for people that are individuals, because we understand from the media space that a lot of people's properties and businesses were also raised down. Now, this is increasing, their livelihood is challenged now. In a volatile environment already. They may not be able to crop on account of ABCD. So it's not just about the public infrastructure. If there is private persons that this thing affected, there should be immediate ways to work, have some data ahead of the commission, so that people can have some, because they have become, if you like, they have become IDPs, if you want us to put it that way.
Yes.
There should be proper documentation to know that my house is gone, my this is gone, my that is gone. So he didn't touch on that in his speech, but I think it was deliberate, because the key issue is not touching on that at this point. You don't begin to talk issues of compensation in a critical address. But I'm appealing to the government to immediately also swing into action, identifying who and who was affected. Even if you were affected wrongly or rightly, because it's difficult to know how those people took the judgment upon themselves or decided that your house should be burnt. Me, my house should not be burnt. There's a lot of complex issues to this. The crux about it is that
the selection of houses. Depicts meaning to you.
A lot of meaning.
All right.
So much meaning. It's even very, 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 very deep. Because why can't they focus on public property? Destroy the tar road that government has provided, destroy the water, destroy the everything. But they also went after themselves. So it tells you that something is deep. That is why the commission of inquiry is something everybody should applaud. Let's not see the commission of inquiry as a bureaucratic thing. Governments just said no. Let's come to the commission of inquiry, give information, and I believe people giving information will be protected. That is why I was initially arguing that no, don't even make people in those areas part of that commission.
Understood.
Because they may have their issues. Because a problem that has lingered for about 2 decades, it's not a problem, I hope you are agreeing with me now that all have sinned. You wanted me to prioritize and list people that did what and what, but now you can see that everyone could be involved. Sometimes it's passive involvement. You are not actually supporting the miscreant acts, but for purpose of belonging and protecting yourself, when they are talking, you are nodding, so that they don't see you as not nodding and come after. So you can see the lot of passive.
So in your definition, even if you are docile, you are complicit.
Much of the docility in that axis, if you like, and I want to be raw, constitutes significant elements of complicity.
It's all right. Now let's ask this question, because time is fast spent, but we need to know. Given an opportunity, would you have requested for an amnesty program for the Sankara people?
Well, it's a tough one. I would not personally, since that question is personal now, I will answer you.
Yes.
I will not request for any amnesty for any miscreant, any person that has terrorized. No amnesty. They will be made to face the law, and for those that choose to engage the state, whichever way they will be neutralized, fine and good. See, this concept of amnesty.
But the Constitution doesn't give room for neutralizing human beings.
No. Constitution doesn't.
Is about.
No, you are mixing things up.
It's all right.
I'm a military person.
Yeah.
I went to solve a problem, and you engage me in firepower. So I will open the page of the Constitution and start reading that the Constitution. Okay, does the Constitution say I must bring the miscreant back intact? No, it doesn't. I'm not calling for illicit or illegal killings.
Why do you deliberately use the word miscreants? You are
I'm coming from the governor.
Okay.
But I love it because these are people that have constituted themselves into a Sankara security nuisance.
Yes.
The best way to call them, even if you use criminal,
yes,
it will look too casual and too commonplace. But when you say miscreants,
yes,
even though I may not know what miscreant is, it gives me a deeper meaning that this is an atrocious, a group that is out to cause atrocity, people that have just deliberately decided that no one should live peacefully and that. So if you call for amnesty, okay, let's put it this way. Let's assume the governor decides to call for amnesty. They'll come out, I'll give you amnesty. There's a big question now. The level things have gone now is different from the level things were that an amnesty package was programmed. This is giving this looks more like a community matter.
Okay, you're making reference to the past amnesty program.
Yes.
No, it was even wrong.
No.
The state governors do not have the powers to grant amnesty.
Of course, if you go into deeper constitutional, exclusive list, inclusive list, concurrent list, all that, that's not my core.
Yeah.
My core is the manner amnesty was done then. If you want to look at it logically, it was even more like an external threat or something that threatens the very existence of the team nation.
Yeah.
Here we have a situation that has almost 80%, if not 100%, tilt to the fact that people within the community have decided to create factions or militia groups that are out causing these problems. So that is where it comes in. The soul that sinned shall die. Let the law take its course. For those that will be arrested, let them go through the normal process of the law. Let the law find them innocent or guilty. For those that chooses to engage, because there's also no law that says, as a military man, I go and you start firing at me, I should just sit down and be laughing that I want to protect civilian lives. That should happen.
Yep.
The only thing I'm conscious that as much as possible, despite the anger, despite the pain the governor has, is to avoid as much as possible collateral damage.
Your analysis today seemed to be so much in tandem with the
with what?
I'm talking about the scripture. I don't know why you're so moved today.
I've always taught scripture. You see, there is something here. There is forgiveness.
Yes. If
you want, let me moderate. Let's even have an amnesty arrangement that is community driven. By the time they bring Japhet and Samagwa and we stand, these are the men that have been terrorizing or have killed your brothers and sisters and friends and everything. Let the community be the ones to decide whether to give amnesty or not. But already we have a divisive community. Healing, let me tell you something about healing. Healing is more a theoretical thing than a real thing. Because somebody will imagine how he lost his husband, the wife, blah blah blah, on account of this person. He may just say, But the point is, we have even crossed that point or even saying let the community take decisions in this. The community has proven, either on account of incapacity because of the overwhelming nature of how these militia groups are operating, it has proven that it is incapable of resolving these issues. So the government takes over leadership of the committee. So I want to further move that before the commission of inquiry, all the chiefs, if I have my way, not just in the areas that were affected, in the entirety of Ukum, should be suspended, just to give way for newer guys to come on board and let this commission sit peacefully. Because you may think the crisis happened in Makurdi. It could have actually been programmed in Boko. So you may just be thinking it is where an action takes place that is the action. Suspend all the traditional institutions in Ukum. It's a harsh measure. You're not doing it that some of them may not come back. You are doing it for purposes of enabling the commission of inquiry to move unhindered. Because these chiefs, though they are not having impact in terms of calming militancy, they have impact on so many other things. So let there be no intimidation. Let the governor take this seriously and also pass a message to the rest of Benue that, hey, look, whether you are innocent or you are guilty, once you are a gatekeeper, once you are a chief, once you are a community leader, if something happens and I'm setting a commission of inquiry, I dissolve all the structures. Because they know so much.
What you have said here has reminded me of the words of His Royal Highness late King Aboking Shulua. That's the late Tosankara, when he said there are some young people in the bush. They've been calling him that they want to come back home. They are tired of staying up there in the bush. And that's what you're talking about. I'm talking about the miscreants now. Now I keep wondering, what other measure apart from amnesty? Because my knowledge of the Constitution has shown that it is only the federal government that has the requisite powers to grant amnesty to anyone. And so, aside from amnesty program, I think Abu Shulua was giving us a message that these youths themselves are not, they are tired of staying in the bush where they are staying. So now, the problem is, or the question rather is, what do you think the governor should do?
Well,
take this youth off?
I will give the governor two answers, or maybe three. Number one, this is the first answer I've given. Don't even try to lobby the federal government into an amnesty program for these guys. Because since you know so much about Constitution, have told me that the states cannot do this. But you know, if the states want, it's just a matter of linking with federal and creating that system that will make it look like federal has granted, and that looks so okay. Because actually the crimes these people have committed are crimes against the Nigerian nation state, and that's quite key. The second thing is, it's just that he's setting a commission in a few days, and it will look as if he's obstructing, but he can direct his team to insert a clause in the terms of reference of the committee that the committee also has a mandate to see to it that those that will be willing to offer themselves, that they are tired of staying in the bush, can come forward. It will be a special arrangement where it will be well coordinated by security and all that. I'm giving options because you wanted them. That's another way it could be done. So instead of trying to interfere with the work of the commission and make the commission recognize the fact that, because they are not coming necessarily to be giving amnesty in that technical sense, but they are coming to lay down their arms and sue for the state to facilitate the process of what looks like the amnesty again in some way. I'm conflicting but making sense. So the point is, this second point can be built as part of terms of reference of the commission. I think the third issue, which is also very key, because remember, let's try to be fair. Some of these guys in the bush are conscripted. They are not there necessarily out of choice. Some could be out of choice. Some are even limited. They cannot even step out in the enclaves they are. They have been holed up, whatever that is. So it becomes a very delicate situation, and so. But the key thing is that interface with whoever is in the bush, give them a timeline, come forward. But nobody we should go entirely free. If you are supposed to be giving 10 strokes of the cane, maybe we can give you 3 strokes of the cane.
It's all right. So even within your amnesty package, there should be some level of punishment meted out.
Because these guys have messed the economy of this place, have destroyed livelihood, have caused so much mayhem. So sadly, many could have been conscripted, like I said.
Yes.
But what do we do? How do we know that this one was conscripted, this one was not conscripted?
Yes.
And I think largely,
Yes.
let me repeat.
You have just a second to say that.
A second.
Yes.
Please make sure while you commence the process of commission of inquiry, let every chief, let every traditional ruler be relieved temporarily.
All right. Well, very well. I must say thank you so much, distinguished Sam Aguan, a good governance advocate. This morning, he has been very vocal here in the studios of Benue Television.
You say I'm quoting scriptures.
Talking about, of course, talking about what needs to be done to address the insecurity issues we have had in Sankara axis of the state, and not just Sankara axis, but the entire state. You can see in the calm voice of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Benue State, you could perceive that his heart is very heavy and he is willing to actually do what it takes to be able to bring insecurity to its end in the state. Very many thanks to you. I must appreciate you, distinguished Sam, for being here this morning. Yeah, very many thanks. And so this is the message for the people of Sankara. Remember that in the past years, Sankara was once a place where people could move from other local government to visit just to catch a glimpse of what's happening there. Sankara was always the most economically viable axis here in the state. They have lost that, and it behooves them to bring back that lost glory. And for this to be done, all the stakeholders must put hands on deck to be able to see that this happens. Well, I must thank you so much for being there. My name is Japhet Kwahom. Do have a great day and keep watching Benue Television.